Thousands of voices rise as the finalists appear. Tails wagging, tongues lolling. It's the world's greatest dog show, Westminster. And these animals are the finest in the world, but the audience knows it's in fact a competition between the elite two. The glorious black Labrador Josh, who glides around the arena on a cushion of charisma. And the compact, elegant Chinese pug Lily, with perfectly curled tail and smashed out. The energy level is high as the animals settle to await the announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, Westminster Kennel Club is proud to announce our best in show. The Chinese pug, and the crowd roars. But there is a noticeable undercurrent of disappointment from many who cannot understand how this glorious Labrador was beaten by a short, squat, ugly sausage on legs. Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, a little over the top to get your attention for this extraordinary idea of best in show. We're going to the dogs to understand it. Lily the Chinese pug didn't have to beat Josh the Labrador because you cannot compare a pug and a lab. Lily had to fully manifest puggishness, Liliness, to be the best pug she could be, and do that more so than Josh demonstrated his Labradorishness. The secret to best in show is in the fullest demonstration of unique attributes, whether a pug or a human. We're not going to talk about dogs. This is about you and me. Let me translate that into a leadership example for you. Consider Winston Churchill, the original English bulldog. Many historians give him credit, his personality, for holding England up in the face of the Nazi onslaught. He was combative and tenacious. We shall never surrender! What would have happened if Churchill had aspired to be some other kind of leader? Could he have been successful if he were not Churchillian? Probably not. You see, that combativeness, that tenacity was his strength, and he drew upon it in the same way that Lily drew from her best in showness to be able to knock the ball out of the park, to be an extraordinary success. Now, there's a growing body of research, and some of you probably know this, about strengths, about human strengths. Some of you have probably taken Strengths Finder or done Strengths Profiler. Well, the really extraordinary piece of that research is that by the age of 5 years old, 5, you and I have practiced certain ways of being tens of thousands of times. And because of that, we've become very, very good at those ways of operating. They become our strengths by practice. More importantly, when we are in our strength set, we are happy because it fits us perfectly. And the result, very simply, is success, greatness, the extraordinary, best in showness. Now, the amazing thing about this is that you would think then it'd be so simple, right? Find your strengths, demonstrate them, be a success. But here's what the research tells us. Most of us don't know our strengths, and most of us don't know how to practice them effectively, even if we do know them. And if you're like me, and most everybody else, somebody told you quite often that you needed to be different, that there was something wrong with you. That's what they told Oprah Winfrey. That is absolutely Albert Einstein's experience. And that is Ryan Hurljak's story. Ryan Hurljak, 4th grade, Toronto, Canada. He heard there were drinking water problems in southern Africa. So he raised some money and sent it off. Got a nice thank you back, and also found out that it takes thousands of dollars to drill a well. So Ryan thought he'd raise money. Well, at this point, his family, teachers, a lot of well-meaning folks tried to sort of tamp him down. They didn't want him to fail and be disappointed. But Ryan persisted, and he raised those thousands of dollars, and they drilled a well in southern Africa in his name. Shortly thereafter, he asked his dad how much a drilling rig costs. A drilling rig. 4th grader. Now the family and the teachers really tried to discourage him for fear he would fail, because fundraising is hard work. He persisted. He raised more than $250,000 for that drilling rig. At 19, he started Ryan's Well Foundation in Toronto, and now in his early 20s, he has raised millions of dollars for the cause. I'm humbled by Ryan's leadership. There's so much more I feel like I ought to do. But I'm also inspired by what he's done because he stayed true to his Ryan-ness. He drew from his strengths, which took him through and created this extraordinary success story. If you're a greyhound, you ought to run like a greyhound. If you're you or me, to thine own self be true. The Army has a phrase for this, you know it. Be the best you can be. I can improve on that, I think. Be the best you can be. There's no one else for you to be because everyone else has been done. That's your best in show. It's the secret. And I'd like to give you an opportunity to practice this now with me, going to the dogs, best in showness. I'd like you to bark with me. You're Toastmasters, I know you can do this. I'm going to give you the count of 3. What I'd like you to do while I'm setting this up is think about how your best in show will express in your bark. Okay? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.